Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations with Spirit. My name is Jagobind, and this is your channel for grace. And we have Danny here from Northern Comfort Tarot, and we're going to talk to you guys today about, for the very first time, this is the first episode ever, and we're going to talk about our twin flame journeys, what we've learned, what we know about them, what we've experienced, our thoughts and opinions about it. And we hope that you guys enjoy this conversation. Please subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so that you get notified of when I go live and when I upload videos as well. You can also follow me on Instagram, make love donations to paypal.me/Eagle Star Yoga. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at channelforgrace.guru. That is my website, and then click on book a reading. So I'm going to open up the chat for myself, and I want to welcome everybody into the chat. If you're new to this broadcast, let us know that you're in here. Let us know where you're tuning in from, and let's get to it. Would you like to introduce yourself and the topic a little bit for us, Danny?
Well, my name's Danny G, and I'm from Northern Comfort Tarot. And the topic tonight, basically what we're going to do is we've called in Source to come in and allow us to be the channel for grace that from them, from our spirit guides and our higher selves. And we're just casually talking about twin flames. Dun, dun. Yes.
I think it's actually going to get a little bit heated. I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, really from the conversations that we've had before, it was like, damn. And we were like, damn, we need to bring this to the people.
Bring it to the people.
Bring it to the tribe.
Leanne, I see you in there. Eleni, welcome in. William, how are you? Thanks for being in here. Hey, Ellie. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Aaron. You're going to catch the replay. That's awesome. Sheila and Radha, thank you guys so much for being here. Please share this video as well with your friends on Facebook. Text it out. Let everybody know what's going on.
Hey, Zog. Guess what? Guess the two things I pulled out right now are lessons for the tribe.
Oh my God.
Wow. I'm telling you, tonight's a powerful night.
Oh my God.
Pretty well. Pretty well.
Right. So I wanted to get this conversation started by giving sort of like a basic definition of what a twin flame is.
I can give you a kind of a background on where it came from.
Yes, please do. Go ahead, Danny.
So Greek mythology, humans were originally created with 4 arms, 4 legs, and a head with 2 faces. Remember? Remember your 2 heads and 2 faces? Well, fearing their powers, Zeus split them in 2 separate parts, condemning them to spend the rest of their lives in search of their other halves. Wow. I get goosebumps every time I read that.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's what Greek mythology kind of brings in, that label or that understanding of being split in 2 halves. What do you think of that?
It sounds a little gnarly. To me, it sounds like it makes this like twin flame journey seem torturous, and I don't think it has to be.
No, it definitely doesn't. It definitely doesn't. Even though at times, really, the torture is our traumas that are built up throughout generations, right? Or more than generations, throughout past lives as well. That's really the torture that's brought in. But if you're on your healing journey, it doesn't have to be that torturous. They can actually be gifts in your eyes. I'm telling you, we'll talk about it further in a bit, but to me, there's like 3 stages of vibrational twins. And when you're at a lower vibration, that's where most of the healing needs to take place before they come together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I had this image when you said that, like when you said, oh, you split them and they would like spend their whole life searching for each other. Well, there's two things that come to mind. It's like one of them, what happens when they find each other? And then two, right? And then two, like, what if, right? Before, because I'm a firm believer that before we come on the planet, we choose the journey.
Exactly.
Yeah, we choose what's going to help us grow. We choose what's going to help us like move forward, what's going to help us evolve in a spiritual way. And we bring these lessons from the past. We bring these like gifts from the past into this world of things that we've learned because we've experienced them, right?
Yeah.
And as we walk on this planet, we get to choose, right, what to activate, what to do. Of course, it takes a long time to realize that we have a choice. Like, and we can talk about that journey. Of course, we have a lot to say about that journey, but to get to a point where you actually realize that you have a choice is a pretty big deal. It's a big journey that you have to get through. But I believe that it is possible for you to choose, right, to maybe do work with another being on the planet, right? And it be like twin flame status.
Yeah. Really, what I'm getting, that's cool because I'm going to build on that because I really what source has been kind of guiding me towards is that, okay, so humans were originally created with 4 arms and 4 legs. I don't know about you, but as a light worker, I'm not from this fucking planet.
No, me neither.
I'm from somewhere else. So
A
and
lot of us are from somewhere. Most of us now, because this is the waves of the future, the light workers. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. So really, uh, there's a duality that has been created in this dimension, in this kind of vibration, right? Which is that's lower than I think from where I personally come from.
Mm-hmm.
So as a light worker, when I came here, I too had to be split into two.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and it was the choice to be split into two because our power was higher than that of humans, even in their quadruple form. So if we came to the planet uh, in our true essence as light workers, every time we'd get emotional in the 3D, fucking like volcanoes would erupt and the seas would get fucking wild, right? You know what I mean? So I find that, and this is just downloads that have been given to me, but there could be that aspect of like us having to split into two to come here. So
Dude,
yeah, how do you feel about that? Them apples.
that okay, when you said that, the minute you said that, it was like it's almost like I got chills.
Oh,
Like
yeah, I get them all the
because
time.
because there's well, I did get chills, but
Yeah,
there's something really powerful.
yeah,
I can speak a little bit about my own personal journey and where because I used to okay, so like here's the thing with twin flames, I used to think like it was all BS. I was like, I don't even know what that is. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't align with it. I'm like, what does it even mean? I even had someone who was like, you haven't met your twin flame yet. So you're not going to be happy until you meet your twin flame. And I was like, what?
really?
Yeah. And it was weird because I was with Dawn and this person was like telling me this stuff. But anyways,
Yeah,
um, it was like, I was like, no, nah, dude, nah, you know, like I'm with my person. Like
yeah,
is my journey and it's a very powerful journey and it's a healing journey and I very strongly believe that Dawn and I came here together and Dawn's my partner for those of you guys that don't know, but I believe we came here together and he chose to come before so he could prepare and then I came when I was supposed to come and then he was going to help me get to where I needed to be and then so that we can do the work together. It was like he needed to be ready so that for me for when I was ready, right, to
yeah.
cross over that portal. And so he like helped me get there. And
You pretty much described the divine feminine helping the divine masculine come into their power.
Yes, both. It was both. It was like the divine masculine helping the divine feminine, and the divine feminine helping the divine masculine.
Absolutely, yeah.
It was like both ways. It was like a give and take.
Because
But
I tell you, when I see you two on screen, wow, wow, the energy that comes flying out from this side of the screen is just intense. It's
that's
crazy.
awesome.
Crazy.
But so I used to think like, okay, whatever, twin flame journeys. It's like, I don't know about it. I don't know about all that. And then remember we had that conversation the other night that actually inspired us to have this whole thing
Yeah.
called Conversations with Spirits. And it was like this epic realization that, like, well, what if Dawn and I are twin flames? However, we're expressing our relationship in a completely different way than, I guess you could say, the more popular twin flame journey that's like painted with drama and like, oh my God, we can't be together. And like everybody's fucked up. You know what I mean? That's what I see. And I'm like, damn, guys, like work on yourselves first, right? And then,
Absolutely.
and then like step into your power so that you can be together in your power. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
why don't you expand on that? When you tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, well, number one, I think whether you are a twin flame on a twin flame journey or not, you're just like infatuated with the idea, and you're just like, oh my God, he's my twin flame, and da, la, 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 la. Well, the message is, uh, I'll let you laugh. Try and swallow first. The message really is that inner self work, that moving towards the depths of healing your trauma, uh, because that's the only way to union, right? Union not only without like calling your twin in, but union within, balance of your divine masculine and your divine feminine, right? Feminine. Blah. Don't go Mercury retro on me tonight. That's all I gotta say. So it's coming into balance, healing, noticing your triggers and healing those triggers, and
Yeah.
utilizing those triggers as the not synchronicities, but the friggin' the fireworks to unraveling your traumas, to exposing your hurts, your deepest hurts, and healing yourself. That is the journey. It's not an infatuation. So now that we take a deep breath and we realize if we are on a journey or not, that's really up to you. But
I
uh,
feel like we really are all on a journey.
absolutely,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And as light workers, it's funny because somebody in the chat, I don't know who it was, but a minute ago said, I feel like there's not just one twin flame. Like there could be more twin flames for one person, which is
Well,
an interesting concept because that dives into the whole light worker thing.
but that's
Because
where soulmates come in,
mm,
and this is
well, explain the difference so that people can understand.
like the soulmates can be, and this is my belief. This is just teachings that I've kind of accepted into my own.
Mm-hmm.
But you can only, like, if you're talking about Greek mythology, or even like the splitting of the masculine and feminine, you know what I mean? Um, there can only be one split. To me, it only makes sense because of the duality that we live in. That this universe or this galaxy, or I don't even know really, that like this is true to me. It doesn't have to be true to other people. Now, the difference between soulmates are that soulmates usually aren't as heavy, and they don't teach us a shit ton of lessons that come from within. Usually they're here when soulmates connect. They can be family members, they can be cousins or whatever, they can be best friends, and they can actually be your worst nemesis. You know what I mean? But they're here to teach you one thing, usually like one or two things. Like they have a specific purpose and then they can leave.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be fine with them leaving. You can miss them, but
Well, it's like somebody said, it's like a soul contract.
yeah,
Like you came into the world to teach each other something.
yeah,
And then once you get the lesson,
it's
that
done.
person no longer needs to be in your life.
Yeah,
Or it's like you continue on to the next lesson.
exactly.
Yeah.
Where twin flames, that lesson continues, and it can dredge
The
in.
saga
It
continues.
can dredge into the depths of your soul and just like rip your heart out and show it in front of you beating. And you're like, my God, I never knew that there was so much darkness within. And you can start like, wiping it off and cleaning it out and bringing it back. And then, and this is, and I want to get into the three different kind of categories
Yeah.
of twins, because it's really going to speak to like the difference between my journey, my twin flame journey, and let's say your high vibe journey with Dawn.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So depending on where they're at vibrationally, twins have three categories. I kind of wrote this stuff down so I don't skip it, but there's the high vibration, where both are ready to step into purpose immediately or ready to face internal work together through and walk through ascension. These tend to stay in union. They don't have to have a period of separation because they're already operating at a vibration where they can work together.
Dude.
Oh my God, chills.
Yes. Yeah. I felt that, man. That's exactly me and Don.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that, here's the thing though. Thing is that like our relationship wasn't always like it is now. Like
Yeah.
I had to go through an entire year of healing, and he had to go through an entire year of being patient with me.
Yeah.
Waiting for me to like fucking snap out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
So it's not like, it's not like we were always in this energy, but we grew into this energy, but because we both chose to leave the shit behind.
right. And that's where see, one is vibrating high, super high, or even just high enough that they can hold the energy for you. But you like had to be willing to work on yourself.
Yes.
To get to his level. It's not really a level. I don't like saying level, but to get to
It's an awareness.
a match vibration, a similar match vibration. And then you also had the agreement of moving forward together.
Yep. And every single part of that was a choice. Like no one made me do it. No one made him do it.
Absolutely.
There was nobody to blame. There was no blame. It was all spiritual evolution.
No, and there wasn't like I'm sure I'm just gonna bring this out. Like there wasn't really much bickering of like he gets home and like, holy fuck, you had all day to do the dishes. What the fuck happened?
No, it was like so. Yeah, I'm like, no, what? No.
Yeah.
No, I've never had any complaints like that about him, and he's never had any complaints like that about me. But you know what it is? It's because the awareness keeps you like on your toes, in the sense of like the awareness makes you respect each other.
Absolutely.
Like, the awareness makes you understand each other, have compassion for each other. And that's that higher energy. Hey, kitty cat.
What's up, Figaro?
He has something to say.
Yeah, she's feeling the high vibes, so she wants to be near me. You know what I mean?
So what are the other vibrations?
Okay, so there's mid vibration. The mid vibers, divine feminine is at a midpoint or a mid vibration. Could be mid to high vibration. You know, I'm just kind of like separating them into three because there's just for like purposes of understanding what the fuck I'm talking about. So Mid vibration, I wrote down divine feminine at mid vibration, then masculine, not ready to step into purpose. Feminine ascension is pushed into ascension through separation, as masculine finishes karmic work in 3D. So separation before final union. Like union, in my consideration, is the final step where you guys are in union and you're moving towards purpose. Reunion can happen multiple times, even in this field, especially in the low vibration as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, with mid vibration, if sexual union happens, and this is through talking through my own experience, if sexual union happens, man, you are both catapulted into the depths of your soul.
Oh my God. I just realized something
What's
when
up?
you just said that. Because so if we could talk about like sexuality, sex, like
Sure.
that. So
I
sexuality and sex, like sexual union, right,
yeah,
is something that is like it's, if you think about it, it's one of the most sacred things,
absolutely.
right, in that we humans have to connect with each other, like because we connect with each other on like a physical level, but then we connect on a like a higher dimensional level, because it is the connection between the second chakra, which is the more like earthly
It's the creation.
body, you know what I mean, it's like your body, and then the third eye. Those two chakras have like they cycle, like they go in a circle when you're in a sexual union, and people don't realize that. And when you just said that, it made me realize, so obviously if you're in a lower vibration and you're like experiencing sexual union, like you're going to be like mixing the your energy with someone else's unresolved shit.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And then it's gonna like throw you into this crazy like experience, which we could call the dark night of the soul.
They say that women carry on a molecular level the male gene with them, with every male that they've sexually been with throughout their entire lives. It's like fucking
I
science now.
In Kundalini yoga, this is interesting. In Kundalini yoga, they have this belief that when you have sexual union with a partner
Yeah.
as a woman, you, that energy is within you for 7 years.
Yeah.
Their
Sure.
energy, right? The gene is like one thing, but then their energy is with you for 7 years. And it takes, you can speed it up by doing very specific meditations, or you just like wait 7 years, which is gnarly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I imagine doing that.
Well, I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, like, so then you start, when you think of it that way, you start to think about sex as sacred. And you're like, I'm not just going to sleep with someone because I feel like it, right? I'm actually going to be very in my divine presence in making a decision like that, because it's more than we think it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a sacred union, needs to be treated as such. Yeah, exactly. Ellie's like, wait, what?
No, and from when I was a small child, and you'll see overlaps probably with me and Twin Flames in the conversation. But as I was a small child, even then I knew that there was only one for me, and I I didn't look at sexuality as, yeah, I want to get my fuck on, yo, and I want to bed all these ladies and da 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 da. It was more of sacred. It was a sacred thing to me.
Most likely, yeah. If you, well, why don't we talk about growing up as a light worker or a twin flame or a person that's here to help the ascension of the planet, because it has
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, write that shit down because I'm gonna toss out
Okay.
the low vibe
Okay.
one. And
Okay.
I also pulled cards, and Source wants to talk about the solitude, feeling stuck, and the release in separation. Those cards came out. I was like, okay, I'll make sure I touch on that. Thank you, Source, for being here. So the low vibration. So yeah, when you guys go into separation, you go into solitude for the purpose of healing that inner trauma, that stuff that you have to do on your own. You know, that stuff that makes you feel stuck or feel that you're unworthy of the connection. Really, like it's a love that you've never known before, and you feel kind of alienated. And this is usually where the divine masculine will head into and head towards tower moments and dark nights of the soul, both of which we'll talk about in another episode of
Conversations with Spirit.
Bam. So really, don't we work awesome together, you guys? So really,
Gemini's, dude, with Venus
yes,
conjunct.
the twins,
Dude.
we're just realizing this now. Woo! So release is really what separation is doing is it's allowing you to release those torments and those hurts and those angers, and really work on the stuff that you need to in order to raise your vibration separately, so you can move back into union. You know, so low vibration. This is usually where, well, it doesn't have to, like you guys didn't, but you guys did. Low vibration, when they come into union, the divine feminine, pre or post awakening, and the masculine, not necessarily awake or just awakening to or through the divine feminine's kind of like, rubbing off on them kind of thing. A connection is felt, or energetic connection is felt, but much work on inner healing is needed on both sides. So this is where you'd see like sort of like I don't know if you've ever watched the movie One Day, or the movie Love, Rosie, where throughout the course of 20 years you become friends in the beginning, and then you move in and out of each other's lives, like a vibration. You move in and out of each other's lives, and you move. As you do that, every time you come back, you come closer together, and there's this undeniable energy that's always there. But when you move away, you work on yourselves, or you go through your karmic cycles, really is what's happening, because you're not even really aware of what the fuck you are, what this connection is. And that's where your healing plays out, is in through your karmic connections, your soulmate connections. You can also like before, in your low vibration, moving into a mid vibration, you can even have a catalyst twin come forward. Some call them false twins, but really what that is to do is to awaken you to the idea that, dude, you have purpose. It's time to move into purpose. It's time to move into mission. So that's my download that I received just to kind of tie things together. I got that about last week sometime. And it really, to me, it really deeply resonated and made sense, because it was a part of really what I went through. You know what I mean? Like on my separation, reunion, I went through each step that way. And I'm glad you and Dawn, I'm so grateful that you and Dawn came in at a high vibration, because that's exactly what I needed. is to meet my people that are of a higher vibration, to raise my divine feminine even further as I step into purpose.
Sat Nam.
Absolutely. Oh, so what was that question that you had?
Well, it was just something that came up. I mean,
yeah, and I want this keep it.
Yeah. how does, and thank you guys so much for being in the chat and hanging out and talking to us about all this stuff when my green screen does crazy shit. Sorry about that. um,
Whoa,
yeah, I know, it's crazy. It's like going
dude,
psycho.
you're in the pollution, man. The fields are getting sprayed with Roundup right now.
Oh my God.
The fog is moving
Oh,
into the valley.
says seeing Jai and Dawn together restored my faith in love. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's epic.
It
Um,
strengthened my faith.
so the thing that came up was, well, okay, so here's a question that I put actually in the description of the video. It's like, how do you know if you're on a twin flame journey? And you know what I mean? It's like, how do you know? And especially as a child, what do you think a child that is on a twin flame journey experiences growing up?
Um, well, you were always empathic as you were as a child, and you kind of grew into that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Grew into that understanding. Like it's another label, yeah, but we need to discuss some things, and we need labels right now. But the when I found out, actually, that's a story in itself. I had this crazy connection. Like I talked a bit about how I always knew that there was just one, and that I saved myself. And you know, it felt like I was saving myself, even though I was open to having relationships. Women were always wanting to be my friend instead of like whatever, and I was accepting of that. Like I didn't have ego first. Was something that, you know how a puffed up persona and ego gets you the women, and you do the bird dance with the fluffed up feathers kind of thing to, to attract a mate type, you know, in the animalistic 3D world that we seem to live in. Well, that wasn't me. It didn't resonate with me. And
Because that was so like low vibration.
to me, yeah, even
You
as
know
a
what I mean?
child, even
Yeah,
as a child,
because you recognized it as a child. You recognized the difference.
yeah.
Are you reading the comments?
Yeah, there's one that J.R. McCullough put up. The Greek mythology you referenced, Plato's Symposium. In
Uh-huh.
that text, the story goes that the gods split humans because there is a threat that the humans would try to challenge their power. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we were so powerful that the gods were afraid of us. Or well, humans anyways. But so anyways, as I was growing up, there were things about me that were strange. Like people thought I was gay, and like even dudes were hitting on me and stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure I'm straight. Like I'm pretty sure I'm not gay, and I would kind of know that. But uh, like one of my pastors was like, dude, it's okay if you're gay. And I'm like thinking deep inside, well, that's good because your son's gay. But I didn't say that, right? But the reason why he thought I was gay was because,
I just got that.
yeah, well, the reason why he thought I was gay was I loved to hang out with the girls, right? And I was always called to being with the girls and spending time with them because like my energy was drawn to that. Duh, I'm a divine feminine. I didn't even know that until like a year ago, that was my energy, was the divine feminine. But so as I grew up, I was always drawn to women more than men, until there was a flip, and it was really, I got sick of the drama, and then I flipped to divine feminine, or I flipped to masculine, and I learned masculine energy. And really, what I've come to conclude in my life right now is that I've been put here as the divine feminine. I've been put here in the masculine body to balance out the energy, to step into my masculinity of
Mm-hmm.
being grounded instead of being up in the clouds. Like not up in the clouds, but like those are the lessons that I have to learn in this life to actually be. I think it's almost like it's the last key in the cog that, or in the lock, that to unlock that higher vibration, if you will, in this lifetime, after so many lifetimes, to step into purpose, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you feel about, like, what happened in your life that to make you think that maybe, this has been for quite some time. Like,
Well, it's interesting because, I didn't really have an example of a nurturing, loving adult relationship.
yeah,
It's like the adults in my life were just not in the right, in the that conscious space where they could teach us how to be in conscious space with someone else. And so,
I had a rough childhood too. Yeah.
yeah. um
I got my gold star in that in that
I think
lesson.
we all did, right? Yeah, I think we all do, essentially.
Absolutely.
But I think that I did believe, when you say that, it's like when I remember when I was little, I'm like, I think I did believe that there was someone out there that was like meant to be with me. And then in my relationships, I would look for that person. I would look for that connection.
Yeah,
But here's the thing that's really crazy. So the only way that I have really been able to like find that love that I truly wanted was to find it in myself, which in a
absolutely.
sense, if you think about it, it's like finding it in yourself is like finding it in your twin, because your twin is yourself. Do you know what I mean? And I think that the reason why now there's such a strong connection in my relationship, in my current relationship, is because it's like I learned to love myself finally.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But there always was that longing to find soul family, right? There was that longing to find someone who understood me, because I felt very misunderstood as a child.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that connection is unmistakable, and that's really like, if you're at the beginnings, if not even at the beginning stages, but I had this part written down. The So when you meet someone that you share such an exuberant energy with, that's unmistakable. That's unmistakable. Like that first time you met um, Dawn, and I'd love to hear that story someday because I'm sure it was earth shaking. It's like you've come home. There's that feeling of home right away in the connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many times I said that to my divine masculine when she was here. It was like, you smell like home, you feel like home. Everything that we did in the 7 years of or 7 or 8 years of our friendship was so energetic. We felt like children again, and we also felt like a calling to share to the depths of each other, with each other. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
almost like we felt safe finally.
Yes. Yes. The safety. Yes.
That safe feeling inside.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we're talking about this because this is really bringing it out of me, for healing as well. Because like it just, I was contemplating this. How do you know, and how do you describe that inner knowing of this is the one finally? And really, upon even at first glance, I saw her across the room, and it pretty much describes just like how Don describes his first glance of you. And it was like just like this beautiful beam of light that hits your heart, and your heart just starts filling up with this immense love. And and I had a voice that said to me, don't do it. Oh, don't go, don't disrupt this meeting will happen. Trust me. Don't do it. She will come to you. And I was like, okay, man, but I don't know. This is some fucking really hard energy. But I trusted spirit in my youth of my awakening, which was like pretty much after some NDEs that took place. But there was this inner knowing that there's more to come in this relationship too. Like
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't an infatuation. It was just this deep love that started stirring inside of me. So, um, where do you want to move from here? You
I
want
was
to
trying to
move,
think. Yeah, go ahead.
you want to move straight into, I think I'd like to talk about, before we move even deeper into, like the purpose of, I want to talk about what twin flames are not.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, it's funny because it's like my thought kind of led me in that direction. And I said, well, I was gonna ask you, what's the difference? Like, so how do you know if it's just infatuation or an actual twin flame? And then you're like, well, let's talk about what twin flames are not.
Okay, and that brings me to a conversation about how I got to the point where I found out about twin flames, right? So, like, I'll take you there, and that what took me there was my not my false twin. I like to call her the catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
Was I didn't We were friends for 10 years. She always had a boyfriend, the same boyfriend, which was admirable. And we were both empaths, but we didn't really understand what we were. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what I was either, but we both knew that we both felt on a deep level for animals and things and people. And we cared about people, and we both wanted to help people. And we both moved away to go to school for a helper kind of education. Um, there was a point in time where uh, like I moved first and then she moved afterwards, like a year or two later. And we got to really get to know each other on a more intimate level, because really before it was like, if I looked across a crowded room, like at a party or something, our eyes would always connect. And I was like, what the fuck is with that? Like, why do we always do that? Or we were like vibing on the same vibe, and it was like intense as fuck, you know. But she was with someone, and I loved her, but I loved her to a point where nothing mattered. It didn't matter that she was with someone. It didn't matter that what did matter was that at times she was going through hard things, and it just fucking I would go through the same kind of, like, she would be in bed for weeks, I would be in bed for weeks. And it really, like, it was that deep of a connection.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we finally went to school and we got together and we were talking about this one night, um, the depth of our conversation went so far within that we were crying for hours, and so loud that the neighbors were banging on the wall at like 5 a.m. to shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And that sparked a curiosity to Google. Okay. I was like,
Master Google.
Master Google enlightened me. Ooh.
Hey,
And
Adrian.
so hey, Adrian. So I went to, we can take a break after this too and kind of hit up the convo,
Mm-hmm.
because like, yeah,
Yeah.
but so I went into to Google to check this out. Like, I just put in, like, what is this weird connection, energetic, looking for any kind of hit. And after like I, I don't even know how long, there was twin flame. And I went to the link, and beside twin flame on the same fucking page was, you might be an empath if, you know what I mean? So I didn't even see the empath thing, but I was like, twin flame, da 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 da, signs and symptoms. Okay, shit, damn. I think that's us. And then I looked over and like empath, and I started reading empath, and I just broke into tears. Like I just started bawling my eyes out because she led me to the understanding of myself.
Mm.
She was my guide to understanding myself and to understanding why I was always in this vibration of unconditional love, and why my entire childhood came forward, and an understanding came to me, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God. And dude, we're fucking twin flames, right? So I came under the perception or understanding that, you know, twin flames don't tell each other we're twin flames because it just freaks people out, which is very true. And I've stuck to that. I've even stuck to that to this day. I won't tell my twin that she's my fucking twin. It's just, it has to come to the point where they
have to figure it out on their own, just like you figured it out on your
yeah,
own.
they recognize the connection.
That's part of the process of the growth.
It's the part of the journey. Yeah,
Growth. Yeah. It's the
absolutely.
realization. It's the awareness.
Absolutely. So the difference between twin flames and what twin flames aren't is, number one, twin flames don't fucking twinkle in the moonlight like vampires do. You know what I mean? I can turn my hue, my saturation down, and maybe start twinkling like I did earlier, but that's not that. There is this drama that kind of encompasses this mystical kind of whatever. And if you get caught up in the mysticism of the twin flame drama, you know, you can get caught up when you're low vibe as well. And that kind of, you do become obsessive, but you have to really, you have to think like, what is this? Am I obsessed with lust? Is that what's driving this connection? I just want to throw myself in his arms and just like be ravished and da, da, da. No, you might be a fucking vampire if that's what you're feeling. And stick to vampire movies. That's probably a better thing for you, because if you aren't high vibing, chances are this journey doesn't look anything like the Twilight Saga. It's rip your fucking heart out, beating in front of you, tearing apart your guts and searching for, you know, cancerous tumors. And like, it is the depths of the dark night of the soul, and being in bed for, you know, 8 months straight and crying your eyes out, and really diving deep into your shit. That's what it is. But what it isn't is, the focused infatuation, moving towards, well, I'm on point. That undeniable energetic connection without even meeting. So if, even from early childhood, we talked a bit about that. Something much more than sexual desire and unmistakable knowing. Their immense, wow, we already touched on. Not just a feeling that you've known each other before.
Mm.
Now, soulmates can come in and you get that feeling like, oh my God, I've known you forever. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just that feeling. It's an inner knowing that you like, I'm thinking of the Talking Heads song, Native Melody. Like, you've shared the same space for a minute or two. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
that sense of coming home is really what that talks about, is that, man, you feel like home.
Satnam, man.
And as light workers, we have been ripped from our homes out in the constellations to come here. Well, not
We
willingly.
chose it, but yeah,
Yeah,
willingly.
willingly,
Yeah.
but we feel like we've been ripped, and we always have that longing for home. Well, when you meet your twin, you feel like you're home again.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sat Nam. You know, everything that you're saying is like it really it's yeah, it's it's huge. It makes me think about it because there has been moments where that's exactly what it feels like.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It feels like I'm home and I don't have to do any more searching.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because it's like I'm good now and I feel safe. And now is like, okay, well then now what? Right? Well, now is the time to start doing the work together, you know?
absolutely. It's purpose
And
time.
yeah, purpose time.
Yeah, Mike's saying we're getting a pretty good idea of Danny's thoughts. What are your thoughts about twin
Well,
flames?
Danny, well, here's the thing. Danny wrote out this like this email with all these notes for us. So he's going through and making sure that we get all those things covered.
Yeah.
But
I absolutely want her a part of the conversation too, because
were
that
you
was like,
here since the beginning, Michael? I clearly haven't met a twin flame. Oh my God, that's funny. Well, thank you guys for all the comments. So, I mean, I mentioned it in the beginning. It's like what I used to feel like twin flames was not, you know, not really anything. I didn't really get it. And when I started having a conversation with Danny not too long ago, I realized that it is very, very possible that Dawn and that I am on a twin flame journey, but because of like either my preparation or my coming into this planet and like really feeling my purpose so strongly and wanting to fulfill my purpose so strongly, even when I didn't know what my purpose was, I still went for it, you know? And so,
absolutely.
and that's why I ended up in relationship after relationship that didn't work out because I was searching and searching and searching and searching and searching, and I never found it. And then when I met Dawn, it was like the searching had to stop because what really happened was that like it's like the mirror, right? It's
Yeah,
like the mirror comes up and says, look, you can step forward in life and you can continue to make, sorry, my green screen does crazy things, you can continue to make these like crazy decisions, the same decisions over and over in your life, right? Or you can stop that train, you can stop that fate train, because
yeah,
it is a fate. It's like you're running towards fate instead of running towards your destiny. So you can choose to stop that fate train and step into destiny and step into purpose, which requires you to look at yourself like if you were in like looking at yourself in a mirror. And this person that's outside of you, that is your twin flame, you know what I mean? If you're in the twin flame journey and you guys are both in that like high vibration, like Danny talked about, that person becomes your mirror, but in a way that it's not judgmental. Because I've had people be my mirror in like nasty ways, and it ends up horribly. Like my last relationship, right? Like we can talk about that. It was like we triggered each other to the point where we had like we hated each other. It was like a hate love relationship. After it was all said and done, I realized that there really wasn't true love there. It was more of what you were saying, like an infatuation. But then fast forward to the relationship I'm in now, and this person that's standing in front of me is a mirror, but it is a mirror to my higher self.
mm,
That's the difference. It's like
absolutely.
I see my higher self. I see my ability to be more than sometimes I think I am. When those negative thoughts come, right?
Yeah,
I see my ability to be more than this physical time space reality, and it completely shifts the whole vibration of it, of this whole twin flame journey, where we think it's more of like a torturous thing, and then it can also be this. It doesn't have, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to remain in that energy level, because the truth is that when you do the work, and sometimes, like, you know, you have to go different journeys, you have to go different places and learn and grow and then come back, right? So my situation is unique in the sense of like the universe, the way it's like either we chose it like this or something happened where like the universe had me doing my own thing over here and him doing his own thing over here until the day we met. And it was obviously divinely guided, because there's
Absolutely.
nothing about that day that we met that was not unusual. It was like the weirdest way to meet someone, you know what I mean, but so synchronistic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, so the difference is we haven't been together and apart and together and apart and together and apart,
Well,
because somehow we were ready to meet we were like, we were there and ready to come together to do the work. It was like there was no bullshit. The
yeah.
bullshit happened outside of the relationship until we met, you know?
Yeah. But look at your relationship now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're in balance, both of you, in yourselves and in your own lives, right? But together you're also in balance. You guys reunite and separate weekly. Don has mission and purpose that he's living out as a healer, as a shaman, and you are living out your purpose and mission as with what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You 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 let him go and you allow him to go and fulfill his purpose and his mission. And
Right.
yeah, and you guys are in balance, and while he's gone, you're not like that bastard, he's probably, fucking what,
Oh my God.
you know what
Hang
I mean?
on a second though, because if I can share something personal,
Yeah.
I was like that at first.
Right.
I was like that. I was totally jealous and I would get freaked out, and there was moments where I would call him on the phone and be like crying my fucking eyes out. Like I like if I was dying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he wasn't here. And
Yeah.
that's what I mean. It was like that year or year and a half after we met was like crazy.
Was your ascension.
That was crazy. Yeah, that was like, it was like I got out of the dark night of the soul,
Yeah.
and it was like, okay, the tower broke, now start to pick up the pieces. And that was hard.
Yeah. That.
That was really hard, because that took me, because it was like, here's this person standing in front of me saying, you know, you are this amazing being and I see you in
Yeah.
a way that you don't even see yourself. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? And I was so rebellious against that. I was like, no, I want to fight it, you know? And I wanted to fight it so much. That's how the relationship was in the beginning, until I swear to God, it was like something happened, and it literally felt like I snapped out of it, because it felt like a sickness. Like it felt like something was wrong. And it was like the moment I said, wait a minute, like I'm doing it. I'm doing it to myself. And
Yeah.
I'm choosing to do this to myself. And I'm choosing to cry. And I'm choosing to be in this drama. And I'm choosing to like do all this negative shit that affects it, you know. And he was just like the fucking rock.
Yeah.
And I was like, ah, you know. And he knew, somehow he had the intuition to hold space for me, like fucking major space, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But you're right, because in the beginning it was like that, and then it's completely leveled out, and this is the reason why I'm able to do what I do now, because
Yeah.
I'm so much more balanced. I would have been a little bit of a fraud if I got in front of the camera before and said I'm healed and blah blah blah, you know what I mean?
It happens.
Like I was, yeah, it happens, but you know what I mean. It's like,
Yeah.
but I'm not saying I'm healed now, but I'm saying I'm balanced.
Yeah.
There's a difference,
Big time. Big
because
time.
you're always healing.
Right. And you stepping into your power and saying, wait a second. I am, it's me that's doing this. It's me that's making my life shit. It's me that's making myself feel all anxious or whatever and envious or jealous. And I need to fucking check myself before I wreck myself. You know what I mean?
before I wreck this relationship too.
Absolutely.
Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like that. It was like that. It was like, what do you want?
What you just described was pretty much when we were after sexual union in our relationship, how I stood as Dawn in the relationship, and these downloads keep coming to me on how I can help her see what she needs to see, and then her kind of going through the motion, but she chose karma, back into karma to learn the lessons that she needed to learn to get to a place where she could be like you, to come forward and then have that safe space to raise her vibration with me.
Hmm. And
It's
I think there's something like really powerful because, okay, so we're talking about like, um, there, it's interesting. There's a similar theme here.
yeah, I know.
That the sacred masculine holding space for the divine feminine, and we can go deeper into that topic because I mean that's something that I'm very passionate about.
It's the divine feminine
The-
that holds space for the divine masculine. The divine feminine seems to be the one that's the spiritual, that they're in the way this plays out. It's just it they're the ones that are closer to spirit, right? Where the masculines seem to be more in the 3D and the grounded kind of, and they come out of that mess of them.
but yes, and I get that, but there is
But it whatever.
when when a male, so we're talking about, so I don't want to sound like this is only possible between male and female relationships,
Oh
right?
no, yeah, no. When we talk,
But I'm talking about like, so let me give you a specific example, right?
okay,
Maybe this will help clarify. So Dawn to me is like the divine masculine, right?
okay,
And I am the divine feminine. And he held space for me to do my thing and go in circles and go way out there and then come back and then be not sure and then be sure and
yeah,
then like be all over the fucking place except here where he was.
yeah,
He let me like go in freaking circles until I stopped going in circles because I stopped wanting to go in circles because I realized I was going in circles.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
the divine feminine has the ability to do that.
yeah.
The divine feminine has the ability to like freaking be everywhere at once
Because
and let their power like let you know the her power like be like everywhere but where it needs to be centered.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
that's
that's the kind
wild.
of,
That's wild.
yeah.
I never
It's
seen.
like the divine feminine has the power to go into the darkness because it like it, if you think about the womb, right?
Yeah,
It's like we grow in total darkness.
absolutely.
And then if you think about like our journeys, right? We live in darkness when we go through the dark night of the soul. That's the dark night. It's like we are in the darkness, so we cannot be in the light until we go through the dark.
Mhm.
It's the word guru. Gu means dark, ru means light. Guru, from darkness to light. And when you shine a light on something, it means you see it very clearly. And then it's the mixture, right? It's like the mixture of the darkness and the light that is the catalyst. Because
Yeah,
when you're completely in the dark, you don't really know you're in the dark. You're in the dark. You know what I mean? It's like you can't see anything. It's like you're blind to the things that you're doing, right? Me going around in circles, right?
for
That
sure.
was me being like in the dark. But then when I started to see a glimpse of my own inner light, that's when I was like, whoa, I can stop going around in circles and I can choose something different. And it was
Wow.
like, yeah, you can. And you've known this, but you've been in denial, you know? And that's like swallow your pride kind of shit, you know?
Absolutely. That's like death to ego and some fucking feminine masculine balancing right there.
Yeah. Well, that's what had to
Grounding.
happen.
Grounding, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you don't, hey Allison, So let's take a question. Is it okay if I,
Actually, what I'm going to do is
yeah.
you can take questions. I'm going to go and step out for a little green wee break.
Okay.
I'll be
So
right back.
Allison, my twin is deep in the dark. I am giving him that space. Exactly. I was going to say, like, if you know someone that's in the dark, it's like you gotta just hold space, because it's not going to change anything. Like, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, what is going to be the best thing that you can do is just like hold space and just like be patient. And if you truly want to be with this person, you have to be willing to let them go. And that was the whole thing with Don. I never felt pressured to be with him, and yet he was there the whole time. And he was like, he would say over and over, like, this, this is not me telling you like you have to be with me, because I know you're not quite ready to even make such a decision, right? But him holding space for me made me one day realize, oh my God, like, this person really truly loves me, and I'm over here like fucking around, like, you know what I mean? Not in that sense, but like I'm over here like lost in my head and my drama and my blah blah blah, and like in, wanting the drama, because that's kind of how I am. It's like I get lost in the darkness. I'm not like that anymore, but being a number 4 on the Enneagram makes me feel like it's very easy for me to like play around in the dark, and I like it. And it's like, it's this weird, it's like, it's not weird because it's natural for a number 4 Enneagram type, but being in the dark, I was like addicted to being in the dark. There was an addiction, and I had to literally release that addiction and step into the light, meaning that I had to stop craving the darkness, like stop craving the drama in my life. And that's a process that needs to happen. Can you have 2 twin flames? Ooh, that's a great question. And perfect that you just came back, Danny. On the Enneagram, I was talking about the Enneagram. It's a personality typing thing. So Terry asked, can you have 2 twin flames?
There you go. No, you can't. That's source. Sorry, buddy. I'm pretty sure I spoke on it before, but when source says the answer is no,
God.
now you're on Conversation with Spirit. You know you're on Conversation with Spirit.
Wow. I was thinking that too. My intuition was like, no, it's not possible.
No.
You can't split your soul into 3s or 4. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe you can, but like,
it's not.
It's a different journey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what soulmates. That's where soulmates hold space, and it's pretty much across the board. It's not really me talking when I say no, but really,
Right.
the question has kind of tantalized my mind as well on this journey, and then fucking Spirit right away says no. Okay, it's good enough with me.
Here's another question.
Sure.
What if you are not a light worker? You are on a spiritual journey. You have been through the dark night of the soul. Is such a connection possible?
You know what? Like,
You mean is a twin flame connection possible if you're not a light worker? That's actually a good question. Is that your question? Let's just get the clarification before we answer.
sure. It leads me into that topic that we were talking about, is, are all light workers twin flames?
The card said, Leanne, the card said the answer is no. Literally, the card said the answer is no.
Like, it just came out.
Yeah, she says she can't see it because she's like looking at it in the little screen, but.
Okay, here. The answer is no.
Oh my God.
Dude, when that card popped out, I was like, whoa. Like I just grabbed the deck and went,
I know. I saw that. I was waiting for your answer, like,
that's
and
what I'm talking about. When we were
no.
even talking about doing a show like this, I was like, let the cards answer. Let the cards guide. Like it was like, wow, eh? Look at them go.
Okay,
We should
so
have a third chair in the middle for spirit. Let's just, you know, like a chair off in the distance, maybe by that tree or something. I don't know.
okay, so actually, here's what I think. Okay, let's talk about twin flames and light workers.
Yeah.
Because this question that JR just asked, what if you're not a light worker, but you're on a spiritual journey, you have been through the dark night of the soul, is such a connection possible?
What makes you think that you're not a light worker?
That's what someone just said.
Why are you here?
If you're aware of light working, what did she say? Where did it go? I think if you're aware of light working, you may have a light working mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, and welcome to Purpose. Because if you're here right now, if you're here in this and on this channel watching this episode, chances are, you want me to pull the answer is yes?
Oh my God.
I love these decks, and that was another question too, was what decks are you using? I'm using the Twin Flame Tarot and the Twin Flame Oracle decks by Mystic Moon.
Oh, we got some good questions. Okay, we got some good questions. Okay, we kind of already answered that. How do you know it's a twin flame, and what is the main indicator? Or is there something you want to add to that? We kind of covered that, right?
I'm pretty good. Check out the replay.
Yeah,
Share, and
we kind of
subscribe.
covered that. Yeah. Dewey says, so are you guaranteed to meet your twin in this lifetime?
That's a good question. And really, it's a hot topic on like between twin flame ists, you know what I mean? I like to call everybody ists, like tarotists. It's got a great ring to it. But it all depends on what purpose was when you signed up for the show, right? Because I do believe that they can be in the 5D, right? Your twin, your other half can be in the 5D, and they signed up for saying, like, I'll help from this side because you're gonna fucking need it. You got some hardcore shit to go through and deal with, right?
Which means that you will meet them, just not in this three-dimensional reality.
Not in this life. But I also think
yes, in this life, just not in this physical time-space reality.
Right. No, you will meet in the 5D, but not in the 3D.
Exactly. Well, but you can feel.
You can feel them, yeah.
You can feel, you know what I mean? We have the ability.
True, yeah.
But it's just, you're not going to meet an actual physical person.
Yeah. Unless there's like an episode, like the scene from Ghost where you're like,
what?
Tonguing the air, kiss.
What was that?
I was kissing, passionately kissing. You can take that. You're probably what you're going to do is you're going to take that and you're going to put it in the commercial that you're making.
Oh my God.
But okay, so there is another factor too, and that's if your twin is so caught up in the 3D that they choose free will over connection and mission. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's great. I'm having a party. This is awesome. See ya. And they bail. I think free will trumps quite a bit too, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like I'd love to have the love of my life and my twin flame with me, but that might not be possible. And, really, I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting around.
Just
What,
really
what is Dewey saying now? I'm a trip. Terry's saying this. Holy shit. Yeah. Well, I'm from the
Okay, wait,
north.
here's another really good question.
What just happened? Check out the replay, Willem.
Oh my God, my background. We're going to have to fix this, okay? So here's a question. In general, to what extent can non-light workers connect? Okay. Light workers come to the planet to help in the ascension of the earth. Everyone that has a life right now is in that process of ascension. You are either on a karmic cycle that keeps repeating over and over because you're not getting the lessons, or you're a light worker and you're trying to stay out of karma because you only came really to do your mission. You don't want to get stuck in the wheel of karma, right? So you're either in the karmic cycle, you're either, a light worker not in the karmic cycle, here to help people awaken. And so if you are like the people, here's the thing, okay? People that are not light workers probably have a harder time connecting spiritually to themselves. I think, like, because true spirituality connects you to your soul.
They're the ones that are watching hockey right now.
You know what I mean? I know people that would be described as they don't have a spiritual bone in their body.
Yeah.
And if you are someone who,
it's just they're really early on in their journey, right? Like they're not even aware of spirituality.
right? It's because that's what I'm trying to say. It's like
they're not vibing on any.
I want to use the F word really bad.
Use it.
I won't.
Okay.
It's a spiritual evolution.
Amen.
Because you're still a spirit having a human experience. However, you're just either on this phase of it, or this phase of it, or this phase of it, or this phase of this phase of it. And so you can connect. You can totally connect.
Oh, the opportunity is there.
Do you know what I mean? It's like what's happening right now with light workers is we're connecting with each other. We're finding each other because we're trying to strengthen our light.
Absolutely.
When the light strengthens, it affects other people. Like, why do you think people are attracted to like spiritual teachers? Because they have big auras, because they're light.
Yeah.
Their magnetic field is much stronger. And so it's like attracting people to the light. It's like calling them into the light. And there might be an opportunity for somebody to get inspired about something, and then, well, voila, maybe they start to be on a spiritual path because maybe they were ready for it, So I feel like to what like extent you can connect depends on where you are on the journey.
Amen. Amen. And different light workers will come in at different times, and those will be soulmates for you to guide you on your way towards enlightenment, towards your ascension, towards your dark night. All these things help in that. And then when you come to a place of balance, you connect with people in balance, like me and you, right?
Well, this is like light workers coming together, you know what I mean, for the ascension of the planet.
This right here, even.
This is the work. This is the kind of work. This is it right here. Yeah. Like, it's not like we have to like have this kind of job and we have to affect this many people and we have to like be doing this specific thing. Like there is no rules to the game.
No.
It's only inspiration. It's what inspires you, what lights you up. If it inspires you, if it gets you like excited, like, then that's a yes. That's the affirmation from spirit. It's like, yes, go this direction.
You can even be a waitress in a diner, and if what lights you up is lighting other people up, like, not like, but like lighting their hearts up and bringing them coffee and being a service to them, then you are working your light, because you're radiating love from your heart, from your inner being. You know what I mean? And people feel that vibe from you. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cynthia said you can be a light worker and not be a star seed from other planets. At least I think so. So light workers come from many, many different places. I would recommend reading books by Dolores Cannon. She has some pretty good ones. She talks about how there are some light workers that actually have had other lives on other star systems. They heard the call, right? Planet Earth needs help. See, this is something that we don't, I mean, I kind of want to save this for when we actually talk about light workers.
Yeah, for sure.
But basically what I'm going to say about it is that we come from many different places. And if you're a light worker, you were not on this planet before you chose to come here. Like you are from somewhere else. And it's possible that this is another possibility, that you were in the process of ascension and then you chose to return to Earth because now you like went through the process, you recognized that you are ready and you chose to return to continue to help. That's probably the only type of light worker that is from Earth, is somebody who has gone through the karma until they got to a point where they like became enlightened or aware, and they're like, okay, I'm going to come back and continue to help now. It's like, okay, I went through the journey, now I'm going to come back and do it. But then out there, because Earth is very unique. That's the thing. Like Earth is unique. There's many different planets, and a lot of planets have gone through ascensions already, but they've been like a little bit different, right? So Earth is unique in that we have free will. Like we have free will here. And you could come from other star systems, you could come from other planets, you could literally come from planets that no longer exist. You could literally have never been in a body before. Like Dolores Cannon says that there are spirits that were never even in a body yet. They never had an incarnation yet, and they came directly to Earth as a light worker. So yeah.
Yeah, I can go to the cards right now if you want.
Go. Yeah.
So when we were on the other side and we were choosing to come into this form, Source is saying we thought it was a wise investment that we give back, because we as star seeds or whatever, we come to, we were of privilege almost, because we transcended throughout our evolution the feeling of being stuck, like that this planet is in, this stalemate and indecision of which way to move forward. That's the vibration of the planet right now, because of the atom bomb, as Dolores Cannon had mentioned in her book, or her books. So in order to give a new perspective to, yeah, the lights, like you can't see that, but that's the hangman in the tarot deck, Mystic Moon tarot deck. In order to bring a new perspective to the planet, we had to bring universal alignment to them, to this planet, in order for the 10 of Cups.
Radiance.
In order for contentment and joy, to bring contentment and joy.
In order for you to shine your freaking light as bright as you can.
And these two cards are like stalemate and indecision, and the 10 of Cups are under each other, right? So it's really clarifying that at the same time as I'm saying this, right? And underneath the hangman, the new perspective is satisfaction and wishes fulfilled. Like the whole thing is to overcome conflict and competition. And that's really what it seems the vibration of this planet is stuck on right now, is conflict and competition. You know, these things we're taught to be healthy parts of our lives, right? But they're not. They're like the root of destruction. Because if we didn't have a border, who would have the better hockey team? If we, you know what I mean? Like, we'd just be playing for fun, and really we can learn from the African children that play uh, kickball. Is there is no score being kept. It's just we're doing it because we have fun doing it. Like, we're going back to um, simpler times, really, and simpler for soul alignment is like what we shed is pretty much everything that we've been programmed to believe, everything that we've taken into ourselves, and we've we we self-police ourselves, you know, and those are the traumas that we get stuck with, are the ones that we feel like we're not worthy of this, or we're not worthy of love, real love, or whatever. And that's what light workers are here to do, is show humanity back to unconditional love, because that is source energy, that is spirit, and they love you so much. So if you have unconditional love for others, and you allow that to flow through you in your daily lives, like in HR, human resource department, you just want to see people in a position that they flourish, and they love the position. Well, then you are a light worker. You are light working, because you're planting that seed for others to grow.
Mm.
And that's from source. That's spirit talking, not me.
There you go.
Not me, man.
What do you mean, Adrian? With 6 trillion people, that would be hard to believe.
What's
So
that?
he says, so Armageddon in a way that doesn't destroy the planet, but out of darkness. I'm not sure what you mean, Adrian.
I
You know,
think. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, I'm looking at these cards that I pulled during this, you know,
Yeah,
this time that we've been here.
sure.
And I think I see the message a little bit more clearly now. And so we started talking about twin flames, and the first card that I picked that came out is the Two of Swords. And it's like, so Two of Swords is like indecision, right? It's like not but you can also see, you know, you can also feel like there's 2 swords, right? There's 2 twin flames. And it's kind of like the awareness of seeing that very clearly, like there's 2 energies, or there's 2 things that are in the mix, right? And we got, you know, the volcano card. So it's like, I feel like this speaks to when you were talking about the low vibrations, as it can be very like volatile, right? It can be very explosive in a way.
Yeah, and transformative as well. Like, it moves.
Right.
It's adding on to the land, and it's making a new, right? Like, it's
Right.
absolutely.
And we got, you know, rite of passage, the initiation. It's like when you encounter, you know, a relationship, when you encounter in your life the ability to see something with a different perspective, you have literally stepped through a portal. Like, that's literally what it is. And why is it all happening? Well, the great gathering, it's all coming together. This is soul tribe. And you have to just let yourself believe that you're already doing it. You're doing the work. And yes, you're going to feel very vulnerable, But what this really is like really a call to celebration.
True. The power of gratitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Dewey says, hard to believe lightworkers haven't taken this form. Because of what I said, I'm trying to clarify what I said then. Leanne responded, do it as the word lightens, we will shift over and leave the low vibing ones behind. Yes.
Well, and they'll even fall away as we raise our vibration. On my ascension journey, I had friends of 20, 30 years just fall away, and not return my calls, or just like, because it needed to clear the way for the higher vibing tribe to move into play.
I know how to clarify that question.
Okay, give her.
So people have been coming to this planet, but more in the form of either ascended masters choosing to come, or in the form of actual humans who went through so many karmic cycles that they actually became enlightened, like the Buddha. The word light worker is modern. The light workers are not, they haven't, like, we haven't had light workers in the sense that we have them now. So Dolores Cannon talks about these 3 waves of volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
There was, and that's what I wanted to save.
Sure.
Or another thing. But basically, because if I tell the whole story, it's like,
Well,
but
give them the nutshell.
there was a call. Okay, there was a call. Planet Earth needs help. Like, we need to figure this out. They're about to destroy themselves. They're like throwing nuclear bombs and shit at each other. Like, that's a no-no in the universe. Like, you don't do that. You don't do that because nuclear bombs create like weird portals, and like, the Bermuda Triangle. There's like a story about that. That happened because in Lemuria, they did this crazy experiment. And I'm going to go way the fuck out there right now.
Okay.
They did this crazy experiment where they tried to recreate the Merkaba field. Okay. And it went wrong. Okay. And now there's this weird energy that like like in near the Bermuda Triangle because of that. And it's like they can't stop it. It's just there. And so they've had to like recreate like the shield around the whole planet. Right? It's like, anyways, so we can save that for another discussion. But light workers they're like within the last 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
Like there's 3 waves of volunteers or light workers. And the first wave are in their 50s and 60s. These are like the trailblazers. They came first because the call was made, and whoever wanted to volunteer to come to Earth to incarnate into a body to help in the ascension of the planet had the option to do it. Okay, so that was the first wave. The second wave are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, like that. And then they're the ones that they're like the light. So really all they have to do is just be themselves, because when they are themselves, they emanate this light and it affects people. Perfect example, my music. Like when people listen to my music, it's like there's an effect. You know what I mean? It calms people. It like brings them into their heart.
Yeah.
And that's not me doing something. That's me just being me. Like it's like natural. It's very natural for these second wavers to do something that they love, and it like affect a lot of people.
That's totally me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
and my in my QHHT session, they even said you don't even have to leave the house.
I know.
Look
Well,
at what we're
there
doing
you
now.
go. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the third wave is the children. These are the kids that are being born that are like literally
high
already
frequency.
ready to go. Their
Yeah.
DNA is set. Like we were looking at my niece's chart yesterday,
Well,
and it's like her, so you talk about the north node and then you talk about your sun. So her sun is in Aries, her north node is in Sagittarius.
yeah.
Her sun being in Aries is like she is a person that comes here to like do what she wants, right? And usually the north node is what you come here to like learn, right? It's like it's your journey in life. It's like, but usually they don't really match. It's like who you are and what your north node is are usually a kind of in a karmic like uh competition or something. It's like it's a lesson. And so the lesson has to manifest in as a dark night of the soul in your life so that you can learn the lesson. But her sun in Aries and her north node in Sagittarius have the same energy. It's the same thing. She came into this world already having everything, already being what she's supposed to be, like
Oh,
already being what she's supposed to learn. Like that's what I mean about like the third wave, the children of the future. So like, I mean, that's just one example, but
oh, I've met quite a few, and it was like just being in their presence. I was honored. I felt honored. You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? Because they just had their shit absolutely together. They were taking care of their baby brothers and sisters, and they were like, their mother was like a mess, and going through a lot of karmic shit. And here these kids rise up, and they've got their shit together, man.
Kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah, kids these
We're
days.
not we're not used to kids having so much like
Light.
power behind them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's the shift. That's the generational shift.
yeah. And it's like so comforting because it takes this burden that it seems like that's been given to the generations. It takes the burden off of like the next generation because they know what to do.
Exactly. You
You've
don't,
got,
that's what I say. It's like you don't, you just need to like take care of them, their basic
yeah,
needs
yeah.
and nurture them. But then you have to let them teach you because they came here to teach you. They didn't come here for you to teach them. You need to let the children teach you. You need to watch what they do.
Hmm.
You know, watch how they are. You need to let them be exactly as they are. Not try to change them, not try to teach them how to be in society this way because this is the way we do it. It's like,
No.
no, they could care less about what the fuck society's doing or culture thinks.
Yeah.
They're not from here. This is the earthly realm and they came here to help, but they're not from here. So you have to like,
Nurture them. That's it.
they just need taken care of,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I've got a message from Source on wrap up whenever you want to wrap up, but we can keep taking questions and stuff. I'm cool with that.
Adrian says, I feel rather inferior right now. You know
Inferior.
what? You know what? And you know what I feel? I feel fucking gratitude.
Absolutely.
Like when I talk about this stuff, I'm like, thank the Lord. We got help.
We do. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, thank God.
Finally, because like I know second wave, I was like, how the fuck are we gonna dig ourselves out of this shit?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The catalyst for light. Yep. Yeah. Oh my God, Cynthia, that's adorable. But yeah, it's like, anyways, we can wrap it up. I think this is a good place to wrap it up.
It
And
was, yeah, it was a
guys,
beautiful
yeah.
message. Give her.
I was just gonna say that we have topics that we've come up with, but if you guys ever want to recommend or suggest topics for us to talk about, because I think we can do. I think we can commit to once a week.
I think so, yeah. And I think it's actually
It might not always be on a Thursday. We're going to try to find the perfect day. So we'll play around with days until we find the perfect day. But I was going to say, if you guys have suggestions or you guys like really want us to talk about a specific topic,
Yeah,
then just
something
leave
that
it in the comments.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, leave
And
it in the
Dewey,
comments and we'll mull it over.
yeah, and Dewey, do not feel discouraged at all.
No,
You're
man.
not inferior. Like what I sense from you is very loving and very observant energy.
Yeah, and I love his playful energy too. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
when you came into the Periscope room, dude, I recognized you right away.
Yeah, he doesn't feel discouraged, he says.
Okay.
But maybe a little inferior.
Dude, we don't get here overnight. And I'll tell you, the last 10 months of my life through that ascension process was just a nightmare, man. And it takes a lot of soul searching and going within to actually come out of with this wisdom and knowledge. And everything was downloaded to me, most of it anyways. What I'm learning in the Earth School for Light Workers now is just like affirmations of love, and guidance. So you're not you're perfect just the way you are. Dun, dun. Don't worry, buddy.
Yeah. So we'll let you know. We'll announce it when we do it again. It will be next week because I'm down. I'm down. Danny's down. So we're
Yeah,
just going to keep this momentum going.
yeah,
And
for
we
sure.
appreciate so much you guys being here and watching and being a part of the chat. And we hope that you really enjoyed it, and share this video out with whoever you feel would benefit from it, you know?
Absolutely. And the last thing that Source wanted to speak about is they wanted to speak to those of you, those twins in separation right now,
Mm.
because really that's why people come to tarot on YouTube, and they're always concerned
Mhm.
about that. And to those that are caught in that loop of the deception of like, will I ever be together with my twin, or am I going to end up settling? You don't have to settle. That's the settling card. You don't have to settle. Really what it is it's if you start moving towards reinvention of your inner child, the answer is yes. If your twin chooses to do the same work and move forward, your divine masculine will come into union with you. But turn your focus, refocus your energy towards developing your inner self. Okay. And with that, you guys, that's raising your vibrations and everything coming
Dude,
forward at the bottom of the deck. Yeah.
that's the light worker picture.
Yeah, man. Raise your vibration and watch what comes in. Watch what you manifest.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Did you like that? That's true. Eh? That is
That
the
is it. I'm like, no joke. That's the same picture, except I put an earth in front of it.
man.
Boom.
Boom.
So I want to say a little prayer.
Absolutely. Close
I
us.
want to, yeah, I want to thank our spirit guides, our angels, our teachers for holding space for us today, for being with us today, and for guiding us through this conversation with spirits, through the cards, through our own intuition. And I want to thank all of you guys for showing up. And I would like to close this sacred space and in a way so that we always keep it sacred, so that we always remember that, we come from the light, we are source energy, and we can always find ways to grow and learn and evolve, spiritually evolve,
Mm.
and all for the purpose of becoming channels for grace,
Oh.
stepping up, being who we're really meant to be. So thank you guys so much, and we really, we pray that these conversations with spirit will inspire you to become, better human beings, will inspire you to learn, will inspire you to want to know more about who you truly are deep down inside.
Absolutely. Thank you so
I'll
much.
hand it over to you.
Sending out so much love and good vibrations, and coming from a man with a big heart that loves unconditionally. That should mean the world to you. I love each and every one of you, and I wish you so well on your journey towards enlightenment and towards working your light and spreading that vibration and inspiring others to do the same, because that's what's going to get mission done. Thank
Sat Nam. All roads lead to home.
you. Amen.
Sat Nam. So we'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.
Take care now.